Hello again, and welcome to Lunchtime Lesson. Today, if any of you tried to guess what the image was that I put up, uh, that is the old Chinese seal script for dragon. So today's lunchtime lesson is some dragon-style Qigong. We're going to do a few different practices from the dragon-style Qigong that I know, and I hope you'll enjoy them. We're going to do our normal routine of a warm-up first, and then we're going to follow up with some instruction in the dragon-style Qigong. Before I get going, though, I just want to mention that every evening I try to put a little hint as to what the next day's lunchtime lesson is. And if you reply to that message on my Facebook page, and the first person who gets it right, I will send them a link to a private Qigong video instructional that I've made for such purpose as a reward. So try to make your guesses, see what you can do, and without delaying any further, I just want to get started. So we're going to start off with a slightly different first warm-up today. We're going to do an exercise called lift and drop as part of our warm-up. This is a really nice way to kind of just let go of the tension of the day, of your morning, and it's a nice reset. So we're going to take a deep breath in. As we breathe in, we're going to come up on our toes. We're going to roll our shoulders back and open up the chest, lift the head and look up, and then roll and drop. We're going to do that a number of times. Nice deep breath, just and feel out. A few more times. Two more times. I find that 8's a pretty good number to do for most things. I find that works pretty well. It lets you settle into the exercise, lets you get relaxed and kind of work with it. So next we're going to start with that same just bouncing expansion. We're going to start with breath in, just expanding out and relaxing down. Expanding out and relaxing down. Maybe you want to expand to the front and back and just sort of imagine the sphere of your space, of your center, expanding. Inhale and expand. Exhale and return to the center. Maybe to the front. And then we're going to go right into that bouncing expansion. This is what we've done before. If you've been watching along with me, you can see I start almost every single one of my Qigongs this way. And the reason is it just kind of like centers me, gets me grounded, activates the Qi and blood. One of the things about these types of exercises too is because they're so mind-body integrated. And once you start doing them consistently, you'll find that your whole mind-body complex just kind of falls right into line. It's like you stimulate certain neural pathways that you've done before, and eventually just starting to do this puts you right in the right frame of mind. So I've been doing this one for so long now that as soon as I start doing this, my awareness just kind of drops right into my center, right into my dantian. I get that feeling of the sphere of my personal space, where I can feel my energy, my Qi activating into all of those. And we're going to go into that counter swing where we're lifting and dropping and turning the upper torso. Nice lift and drop. Just let the body relax. This is just a nice, smooth, relaxed practice. It's about dropping tension activating the chi, letting the torso turn. So there's a little bit of activity going on in here, in your obliques, in your intercostal muscles, your abdominal muscles, and most importantly, it's helping you to drop the tension in the body. Start creating a calm, relaxed physiology, which helps you get calm and relaxed in your mind. Remember, in all of these, we're going for our 8 basic functional principles: calm, relaxed, centered, grounded, whole, complete, alive, and lively. We'll go into our forward and back column swing. And this morning, I did an impromptu live stream with my morning routine. Some of you guys may have caught it. Some of you may have seen it on my page since then. If you haven't, go take a look at it. It starts to explain different things that you can do. I didn't do it too intensely, but I explained a few different variations you can make to these counter swing actions. You can see I can turn my hands palm up or palm down. I can focus on pushing forward and back. There's all sorts of different ways I can go about this activity. The key component is that everything is always coming from my center. It's almost like my activity, my energy, my intent, my chi, my action, all of it comes from my center and flows from the center outward. I can focus on up and down. I can focus on dropping. Start to extend a little bit, get a little bit longer if I want to open up the shoulders, come up under here, stretching in through here. One of the nice rules of thumb I like to have is when my hands go up, I go down, meaning I'm going to drop my energy and intention downward. That keeps my shoulder blades down. What I don't want to be doing is this, where I lift my shoulder blades up and tense up my shoulders just because I want to move my arms. Keep everything nice and relaxed, calm and smooth. Here we're going to go into that counter swing, forward and back, or counter column swing. Nice and loose. Sometimes I'll focus on kind of palm down in the front, going like this. Sometimes I'll focus on palm up. I gotta move a little bit away, just hit that screen. Misjudged my distance. Nice and relaxed. Let the body go. Let it be smooth and soft. And I can really focus on just really moving it all, just kind of letting it go, almost like my arms are like rag dolls. So you're probably hearing my parrot right now. She likes to talk. She's going to participate in this. I was really surprised she was quiet last time. And go to a stop, nice and relaxed. And we're just going to relax for a moment. I just want you to stand for a moment. I want you to feel the 3 basic lines of the body. There's the center line, which goes from the center of the head at the Baihui point, straight down through the 3 dantians, the upper dantian here, upper part of the head, the middle dantian in the center of the chest, and the lower dantian in the lower abdomen. The other 2 lines go from the tops of the shoulders straight down through the triangle of the feet. And I want you to feel like all 3 of those are nice and aligned, nice and relaxed, upright. We've got a sense of zhongding or central equilibrium, where the apex of the head or the bihui point is feeling like it's being suspended or gently drawn upward, and everything else just relaxes down off of that. The spine relaxes, so the low back relaxes, as if you've got a little weight hanging off of the tailbone. The right and left channels are relaxed. The hips are folded, right? The knees are bent, soft and buoyant, and our weight is in the center of the triangle of the foot. Now, for those of you who missed yesterday, or any of the other ones that I've talked about this before, the triangle of the foot is this load-bearing portion of the foot right here. There's a triangular shape, and we want our weight to be right in the center. That way, the natural sort of shock absorbency and pliability of the foot itself can spread out. And when I do this, I reach out with my toes, like I can with my fingers, and then let them relax. And there's a natural grasp that happens when you do that. Let that happen. This helps you become more aware of your feet, activates the chi through all the toes, and gets you more connected to the ground because your consciousness and awareness extends more fully. Now, when I do this on my own, I often like to make each individual toe reach out. That way I'm making sure I'm activating each one and I've got a connection through my whole body. And I work with that buoyancy again. Sometimes you may notice that like one side is pushing against the other, like there's a conflict internally. What I want you to do when that happens is, rather than buy into the conflict and feel like you have to push back to make yourself perfectly straight, instead let the body lead you a little bit. So if I'm feeling like my left side is pushing, I'll let it push me. I'll move over here, and that tension lets go. And then I can move over the course of your practice, that you kind of sway a little bit side to side or forward and back. That's okay. Let your body let go of tension. If you keep holding on to what you think is right, you're not going to move towards change. You got to let things change, and then your body can start to let go and relax all the holding and tense energy and contraction that can be stuck in places from habit, from poor posture, from old injuries, and from stress and tension in our lives. Emotional constraint, psychological challenge, all of these things get packed into our body. So as we're standing, we want to just relax. Just keep working with those three lines. The center line nice and long and upright. The right and left channels draining downwards through your feet. And we're going to reach out with our hands as though we're holding a ball or hugging a tree. Just reach out, nice and relaxed. Bring the hands around. You want the two palms to kind of face each other and kind of face the center of the chest, almost like the two Lao Gong points in the center of the palms. Make a triangle with the Shen Chu point in the center of the chest. And we're nice and relaxed, this sense of expansion. It's a good basic posture. It's called Wu Ji. Be soft and buoyant. We're not locked. Don't push against the ground. Remember, anywhere that I put a feather on your body, it would come down. So if I put a feather on your hand, it would sink because you're not holding it up with any more strength than you need. If I put a feather on your finger, the finger would sink. If I put a feather on your head, you would sink. Everything's nice and relaxed. We're going to take a few deep breaths, breathing deeply down here into the diaphragm now. We're going to start working on the breathing as we do this. I want you to pay attention to the inside of the body now as you're standing in Wu Ji. Right? And I want you to think. Notice if there's any holding in here. If there's any place inside the body where it feels like you can't get the breath to sink down at all. Just don't force, don't try to push the breath down. As your breath comes in, let it reach the place where the tension is. Gather there, and on your exhale, just release the breath and try to release some of that tension with the breath. And what you'll find is you'll let go of some, and then your breath will sink a little bit more. And keep working with that, and keep working. Eventually, you'll find your breath comes all the way down here, and it feels like you can breathe from and to your dantian. Keep the low back open. Try to make sure you're not tightening your low back. One of the big places I notice when I work with people and I'm teaching them, just keep trying to hold your Wu Ji while I show you this, is right in here. people tend to have too much. You'll see them like this. The back will be arched and it's tight and they can't let go. And consequently, there's no transfer of the chi through the qua here and the hip. The qua is the entire complex that surrounds the ball and socket joint of the hip. We want it to open up and feel like it just releases. So everything up here can just drain straight down all the way to the ground. So from here, we're going to move into what's known as a dragon rolling pearl posture. There's two sides. There's one on each side. We're going to kind of perfect each one. Now, for now, I'm going to let you relax your arms down. Let them come down because we want to work on the structural components. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shift over to one side. Now, the first thing I want to become aware of when I make this shift is the sense of receptivity versus expansion. One side of my leg, I can push. Like if I want to move over that way, I can push with it, move over. But if I want to move over that way, I can also stop holding with this leg, with the other leg, and let it pull me. What I want to do is make those two match perfectly so that yin and yang are in perfect balance. The yang expansion happens and the yin receptivity happens in equal measure. Now what I'm going to do is slide over so my weight goes straight down into the triangle of this foot. Now I want you to notice this leg. It does not collapse. It does not bend forward. My weight should stay in the center of the triangle of the foot. I want this hip to be open and slightly rotated open so that my knee stays in line with my toe. Now once I've got the basic body alignment, the next thing I'm going to do is take my torso and ever so slightly, maybe 30 degrees, I'm going to turn it that side. Then I'm going to bring the hands back up as though I'm holding the ball again. And I'm going to rotate this ball with my hands so that for me, this is my right side. For you, it probably looks like your left. Since it's a mirror, it comes back and close, and the palm goes out. And then the other hand is going to roll out, so it's directly in front of the palms. So they're right behind each other, aligned with each other. And it's like I'm still holding a ball here, as you can see. But I'm turned, I'm sunken. Now this is the first posture, and the first thing I want to do is learn to get relaxed and balanced. I've got a sense of receptivity on this side. This hand is closer to me and inward, so this shoulder is also rolling in and receptive. This entire right side for me is receptive. The entire left side is expansive. I'm expanding through this leg, and I'm expanding through this arm. And the center line is right between the two, moderating the change. And since there's a twist, there's a gentle spiral force that's happening. Now, don't worry about it if you don't feel that right away. That takes some time. And again, relax the hips. You want to make sure you're not up. One of the things that happens a lot is people's hip or kick out. We want to really make sure that tailbone is always pointing straight down. And so we're in this dragon rolling pearl on the right. Now, when we feel like we've got that posture solid and I'm soft and buoyant, remember, nothing should ever be held. I shouldn't feel like I'm tight. I should be gently extended and open, but relaxed and soft and buoyant. So when I started training, and I first started practicing, is I would move a little bit every time. I'd start to notice I was getting tight or tense, and I would just let it all go. Just let it move and become soft. One of the big checks is this one right here. Can you be soft and buoyant and straight up and down in the hips? If you train that and you learn to be soft there, that's 90% of the work. Now, to move into the dragon rolling pearl left side position, we're basically just going to roll the ball this way. Right hand's going to come down and under, rotating as I come up, come under, and the left hand is going to roll over the top this way and come to the back side. So it's like I'm rolling a ball this way, rolling. The back hand rolls down. As I shift, when I'm in the middle, I should be here, and then over to the other side. Now I want to check, how's my alignment? Am I I straight down into the triangle of the foot? Am I receptive on this left side? Am I receptive in the left arm? Am I expansive in the right? Getting my alignments. Are my three dantians aligned? Or am I kicked out one way or another? Or back? Am I leaning forward? Just checking alignments. That way, gravity can move freely down through us. We don't resist it, but instead we allow the power of gravity to flow as a force through us. Soft and buoyant, nice and expansive, just small motions, just getting this. And if at any time your shoulders start to bother you because you're doing this, let them move. Just release. Get buoyant and soft. If you need to completely release, just bring the arms down, but make it like a Qigong movement. Release it and then bring it back up. That way you're not just dropping it and losing everything you've just built. Now, usually when I do this, I'll stand for about 5 minutes in each posture, and then I'll do the dragon rolling pearl position or transition. However, for you, do whatever feels right for you. Maybe start off with a minute or 2 minutes, and then roll the pearl between. So the roll the pearl exercise is just transitioning back and forth between them. This way and this way. Inhale and exhale. Coordinate the breath. Body regulations is what we've been talking about. The breath regulation is a nice, relaxed, coordinated breath with your movement. And the mind regulation is all the body, and most importantly, focused on the feeling of the chi in the palms so that it takes on a real volume here in the palms as you roll. And we're going to intersperse this with a couple of other practices. There's one called pulling chi that we're going to do, and then dragonflies diagonally. You're going to see we're going to roll back and forth between each of these. So I want you to get familiar with them all individually first. Now, one of the things we're trying to always do is teaching. I give all my Tai Chi students in person is it's sphericity. We want this sense of the dantian expanding out into the sphere of my space, and it's always there. I'm always outreaching from my center, expanding my intent to feel into this sphere and to create a sphere of feeling and intention. And then I'm moving within it. Now, as I roll this pearl, this ball right here in the hands, I'm also trying to envision that my center is rolling the larger sphere that I'm within. Always paying attention to yin and yang. This is receptive, this is expansive here. Then this one becomes receptive, and this one becomes expansive. And eventually, as you practice, you'll start learning to follow that change, and it'll begin to lead you instead of you leading it. Because there's a natural rhythm to the flow and change of yin and yang. And then I'm going to reverse the flow. So I'm moving this way. Now pause. We're going to bring it around as though we're bringing the ball around, getting a sense of it being in the palm, still keeping that chi in contact. Now we're going to do pulling chi. It's almost like we lightly grasp the air or the chi and pull as you inhale and compress as you exhale. And from here, we're going to bring the right hand on the bottom, left hand on the top. Shift and turn to the left side. And we're going to make rotations. Now the top hand, the left hand, is going counterclockwise. The bottom hand is going counterclockwise, 180 degrees off the switch. Sort of moving the same direction, but away, sort of opposite each other. And then we're going to do dragonflies diagonal. So we're going to press down with the left hand as we shift and turn and pull the right hand open. And that's on the inhale. And on the exhale, bring the right hand over the top, left hand at the bottom. And now the right hand goes clockwise and left hand goes clockwise 180 degrees off. Really focus in the palms. If you really focus here, you can feel it. Almost feels like two magnets, one above the other, just pushing. You'll feel that push and pull. Now you'll be from that. Try not to. Try to let it stay smooth, consistent pace, and that'll increase the energy in the channels and in the palms. And we dragonflies diagonally again, pressing down with the right and moving up on the inhale with the left. And compress. Counterclockwise. I usually do 8 when I'm not instructing, and then diagonal. And compress. Clockwise. Flying diagonal. And compress. Counterclockwise. Just going to do one more on each side. Notice where your body wants to tighten up, and just don't let it. Just release it and let it flow. Let whatever you're holding flow into the movement and into the hands. That will increase the chi. And dragon dies. Fly. And compress. clockwise. Clockwise on the right, counterclockwise on the left. And one more press, flying diagonally. And we roll right into Dragon Rolls the Pearl. And counterclockwise circling. Dragonflies diagonal. Compress. Clockwise circle. And dragonflies diagonally. Dragon rolls the pearl. And usually at this point, I go into the intermediate level practice where I start walking around while doing this, stepping with each one. I'll show you a single step on each side so you can get the idea. It's very simple. I just come over here, I step with the right, and up, rock back, turn the foot out, this side, step out diagonally. You can see how that goes over and over again. For here and for now, we're going to close. This is the beginning of the beginner level. This is the end of the beginning level. Dragon Qigong. Nice and relaxed. I hope that was valuable to you and helpful. And if you have any questions, please feel free to message me or to send me a note in the comments section. You know, if you have a question you think that somebody else might be interested in hearing the answer, please put it in the comment section. At the same time, I'm very sensitive to the fact that sometimes people are nervous about asking questions publicly. They're afraid that they might seem like a silly question. I'll tell you, there are no silly questions in Qigong, because you know there's so much detail and information and nuance in the mastery of these kinds of practices that you could ask about almost anything and it could be relevant, and it probably is relevant. And so don't worry about being embarrassed. And if you are, just send me a personal message. That's fine. And I'll be happy to answer as soon as I can. Mention here is I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. I'm doing it in small increments. So I'm at 100, or at least when I started this, I was at 183. And my next goal is 250. If I can reach 250 by midnight tonight, I will release a free instructional video that I've never released to the public before. A few of my patrons on Patreon have seen it, but very few, not even that many. And I will release it publicly for everyone to see. So if you help me get to 250 by midnight tonight, share my page, mention that I'm trying to get there on YouTube, share my YouTube channel, and I appreciate that very much. And if, again, as always, if you ever want to help me reach all of these people that I try to reach, all my in-person students that currently aren't able to attend from all the councils on aging, and they're trying to get a live stream, if you would like to help me get through all of that, go to my Coffee page, ko-fi.com. That's ko-fi.com/Occidental Taoist, and leave me a little donation. And it helps me move forward in all the goals that I have to try to make this more accessible for everybody. I'm also, just for everybody's awareness, planning on a season 2 of Tai Chi, The Way to Radiant Health, which is my public access television show. We can't film right now because their studio is shut down because of the COVID scenario, because of where we are and what's going on. But as soon as that is clear, we're going to film and try to get season 2 out of the way and in the can, and then delivered to everybody publicly as fast as we can. Sure. Thank you very much. And you guys have a wonderful day. Remember to stay calm and peaceful. Sure.